Do you find yourself getting frustrated because you set goals for yourself, but you never accomplish them? Or maybe never is too strong, you rarely accomplish them? If you want some tips to help you to increase the odds that you'll accomplish your goals, watch this video where I'll give you some helpful strategies. Hi, my name is Dr. Patricia Thompson. I'm a corporate psychologist and executive coach. You can learn more about me at silverliningpsychology.com. On this channel, if this is your first time here, you'll find out that I actually post a lot of videos that are designed to help you to be more successful in your professional life. So make sure to click the bell, like, and subscribe so that you'll be alerted anytime that I post a new video. Okay, so let's talk about this idea of accomplishing goals. Now, as an executive coach, I work with a lot of people who set goals, and so I'm very familiar with a lot of the strategies that are backed by research that will help you to be more successful in accomplishing them. So let's dive right into the tips. So the first tip that I would suggest is using the SMART goal acronym, and you might have already heard of it, but SMART stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. So let's talk about each of those really quickly in order. So specific, that means making your goal tangible and specific. So let's say your goal is to, do more public speaking engagements. That's really general. So to make it more specific, you might say do one public speaking engagement a month. So it's really specific. And that way you have a sense of whether you're accomplishing it or not. Anytime it's too general, it can sometimes be harder to pin it down, and then it's harder to track your progress. So the next one is measurable, and I kind of made the last one measurable in the way that I worded it, and that I said have 10 speaking engagements per month, right? Another example is, often people are trying to get healthier, let's say. What would being healthier look like? What would that be like measurably? So maybe it might be, get my blood pressure in a healthy range, or lose X number of pounds, or whatever. The way that, again, that you can measure it makes it easier for you to track. The next one that I said was attainable, meaning that it needs to be something that you can actually realistically accomplish. So, again, to use the weight example, if you said, I'm going to lose 100 pounds in a week, being super ridiculous here, that's obviously not an attainable goal. And so there's a high likelihood that you're going to fail, and a high likelihood that you're probably going to get very disappointed along the way. So make sure that the goal that you're aiming for is attainable. R is for relevant. Sometimes you'll hear it as realistic. Sometimes the A and the R are used in different ways in the acronym. But relevant means, in a business context, you want it to be something that's actually going to have an impact on the business. And so if you're, creating developmental goals in a professional standpoint, and you want to make sure that they're going to actually help you in your career, then make sure that they're things that are relevant to, what the business might be looking for, or what would help your area to improve. And then the last one is time-based. And what this means is setting a time limit on your goal. Now, various people have different schools of thought about this one, but according to the acronym, if it's time-based, what it does is it increases the sense of urgency for you to be working on your goal. If you say, I just want to get better at public speaking, that is so open-ended that, if you're not working on it this week, you might decide, well, I'll get to it next month. Whereby if you say, I'm going to do this by this time, then that creates an immediate sense of urgency that will increase the odds that you'll be working towards your goal. Okay, so my second tip is to break it down into small steps. Sometimes if you have a huge goal, it might seem too daunting to even get started, and so you might not even know where to begin. And so one of the things that can be really helpful is to break it down into small steps. Figure out the specific action steps that you're going to do to be able to accomplish your goal, And you can make those time limited as well, and that will help you to ensure that you're moving along in a consistent fashion. So for example, if we take the public speaking example, an action step could potentially be sign up for Toastmasters by X date, do research on different conferences by X date, reach out to X number of event planners by X date. And you're breaking it down really consistently. Ask for feedback on how I am speaking, practice, read X book on speaking. Whatever it is, you can see that I've broken it down into achievable steps. And then when you have those mapped out in a plan, it makes you ensure that, again, you're moving forward at a consistent rate and that you have a plan of attack. Another tip that I have, and I probably should have started with this one, is to really get in touch with your why. Why do you want to accomplish this goal? I have found that the goals that I'm most successful in achieving are ones where I'm highly motivated to do them. I have a strong why or purpose moving me forward. The ones that I don't necessarily care about as much, or that I haven't gotten in touch with my why, I gotta say I'm not always as successful in achieving them because I don't have the same level of, internal pressure or internal motivation pulling me towards the goal. So take some time when you're thinking about a goal that you want to set to write down your why. What do you think that goal will do for you? Why do you want to accomplish that goal? And then keep that why statement or statements handy so that, when you're not keeping up with your goal, you can look back on your why, and perhaps that will help you to get more back on track. My next tip is to track your progress. And this can be really helpful for a number of reasons. Number one, if you're tracking your progress, it's a way of creating some built-in accountability so that you are accountable to yourself in terms of how you're performing on the goal. And so whether you have a journal or a spreadsheet or some sort of method whereby you can track what you're doing, that can be really helpful. Self-monitoring can also be really helpful for helping you to celebrate your wins, because often if you have a big goal that's like way at the end of the horizon, you might not necessarily notice all the little wins and steps that you're taking along the path to that goal. So, I like to I have a journal and I write down my wins every day. And it could be something small, like I reached out to a client, or it could be, something bigger, like I won a project today. And then I can look back through it and I can feel really good about the progress that I've been making. So even if I haven't yet accomplished my ultimate goal, I'm able to track my progress. And it keeps me on track by the tracking. And my last tip would be to get an accountability partner. Sometimes it can be easier to stay on track if you have someone checking in with respect to your progress. Yes, you checking in is fine, but it ups the ante if you know that you're going to have to report to someone else what you've been doing. And I know that in my work as a coach, I naturally create a sense of accountability for my clients because I will give them homework or we'll talk about their action steps. And then in our next session, they'll report out on how things went. And even if they did it all the night before, at least what that means is that they're moving forward towards their goal. And so if you found that you've kind of fallen off the wagon with respect to your goals in the past, then really do consider an accountability partner. You could, work with a friend or a colleague if you're both working towards goals. You could talk to your boss about your goal and perhaps during your one-on-ones have check-ins about it. Or you could engage a coach like myself to help you to work towards your goals. And, I would be totally happy to talk with you about that. So again, you can learn more about my coaching services at silverliningpsychology.com. And we could see if we'd be a fit to work together. I know I said my last tip was my last tip, but I just thought of one more that I would like to share. The last thing that I would say, and this is the last one, would be to incorporate visualization into your goal setting and achievement process. I have a whole video on visualization and I'll link that in the in the video description below. But basically visualizing yourself accomplishing your goal can be a really powerful way to, again, pull yourself forwards towards that goal, but also to get you in the frame of mind of someone who has already accomplished it. Sometimes, again, a goal can seem like a little bit of a stretch. We might not necessarily see ourselves as a person who's able to accomplish that. And so getting practice visualizing yourself as a person who's accomplishing that goal can help it to feel more natural for you. And it might sound crazy and a little woo-woo, but I can honestly say that I have had a lot of experiences where visualization has been really instrumental for me in terms of accomplishing my goals. And if you check out the video that I've included, you'll also get to hear me talking about some of the research related to visualization and goal accomplishment. Okay, so that's it for this video. Like I said, it was just a few tips that I wanted to share. I hope you find them helpful. If you have other tips that you find helpful for accomplishing your goals, comment down below so that we can all learn from them. Again, I'm Dr. Patricia Thompson. I hope you'll visit me on my website and also on social media and all the other places that you can find me. So I'll see you soon.